it up. Told Moses, write it in the book. What did he put in the book? He put instructions. Instructions is in this book. Anything that you need to know is in this book on how to live life. It's instructions on how to live life. How I'm supposed to deal with my wife. There's an instruction in here on how I'm supposed to deal with my children. It's instructions how I'm supposed to deal with the elders. It's instructions how I'm supposed to deal with my neighbor. It's instructions. There are instructions in here. But if you hate the instructions, guess what? It's instructions for that too. So I praise Yah. Because in order to serve Yah, you got to follow instructions. He gave us 10 commandments. Them 10 commandments are instructions in order to serve Yah. One of them was keep the Sabbath day holy. 6 days shall I work, but on the 7th day shall you rest and give Yahweh his praise and his glory for them 6 days. Those are instructions. Those who make a sacrifice unto Yah, who make a covenant with Yah by sacrifice, what are you sacrificing? Today it's time. You can be doing other things. If you wanted to, you ain't gotta get Yah, you ain't gotta give this time to the Most High Yah. You get this time, Yah so magnificent, he gave you a choice. You can do what you want to do. But if you made a covenant with him, you sacrificed all that you wanted to do today. And you came and you come to serve the Most High Yah. That's a sacrifice. That's a covenant I made with him. And I'm thankful for that covenant that I made with him. I received the instruction. How I'm supposed to deal with my mama and my daddy. He gave me instructions. This is my 10 commandments. Instructions. But hallelujah, that's what stood out to me in this song. But the floor is open for your comments and testimonies to share what stood out to you. Hallelujah. I did, but you know, I was gonna run off into some, but I'll let you go ahead. Because it's all dealing with these instructions. Oh, well, I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead with my second one. And my second one, well, it's right underneath it, really. It goes on down, and it says in verse 18, when all the way down, let's say, going to, yep. When thou sawest a thief, then thou contendest with him, and has been partakers with adulterers. I did all that because I hated instructions. Thou give thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit. Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother, and thou slanderest thy own mother's son. These things thou hast done, and I kept silent. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such as one as thyself. But I will reprove thee and set them in order before thy eyes. See, when I wasn't hearing instructions, I thought everything I was doing was right. I thought everything I was doing was good. If you did something, see, I live by this motto, how I used to live. 2 wrongs don't make it right, but it sure enough make it even. But guess what I found out? And this infamous wisdom that y'all have blessed me with, that is a lie. 2 wrongs, it don't make it right. And guess what? It will not be even. Ain't no evenness coming out of that. Wrong begot more wrong, begot more wrong, begot more wrong. Now somebody, 10 bodies, 20 bodies is dead and gone. All because you thought you was making something even and making something right, and that ain't true. Don't nothing made right by committing 2 wrongs. You ain't making it ain't even. That ain't a just balance. Yahweh told us you destroy wickedness with kindness. That's a just balance. So, you know, and then when I look at this, The first thing I saw when I read that right there, thou sittest and speakest against thy brother and slanderest thy own mother's son. Thou givest thy mouth to evil and thy tongue to frame deceit. First thing come to mind is Psalms 1. All right, the Psalms 1. And Psalms 1 tell you it's an instruction to tell you everything what not to do. Oh, I say that I can't write the psalm. It said, blessed is a man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful, but his delight is in the law of Yahweh. And in his laws, though he meditate day and night, and he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. The ungodly are not so, but are like the shaft which the wind driveth away. Therefore the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For Yahweh knoweth the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish. So if you don't like instructions, you setting your life up for failure. You setting your life up to perish. This whole book is instructions, but he wants the wickedness that's in you, the wickedness that's in us. He wants you to turn away from that, return back unto him, and follow the instruction. That's how we get to be a mighty people. That's how we get to be a great nation. It's by following the instructions that have been set down before us. But so many times we don't like to follow instructions. We hate, you know what? We pick and choose what instructions we want to follow. And then the ones that we don't like, we just set them off to the side. And then when they come up, when those instructions come up that you don't agree with, then here's the world famous saying, well, people do what they do. Or they might say, well, you do you and I'm going to do me. Or, they might say something, well, maybe that's your understanding, but that ain't how I see it. Well, I always thought the truth was the truth. So if it's the truth and we agree that it's the truth, should we not follow that instruction because it's the truth? It's the truth. When you go to the doctor, you got high blood pressure. Doctor tell you, hey, don't eat this because it got too much salt in it. So he tell you don't eat no more shrimp, don't eat no more pork, don't eat none of that because that stuff is high in salt content, but you don't listen, so you eat it anyway, and now you dead of a heart attack. You dead of high blood pressure because you didn't follow the instructions. Because you wanted to sit in the counsel of the wicked and the ungodly and do things the way you want to do it. Now, granted, he gave us ways that we can do and move, but he gave us an instruction that we should follow. So those are my two there. Hallelujah. Where the microphone at, sir? See, both of y'all should be up here. Why y'all back there? We got security back there already.
Shabbat Shalom. I'll pray, glory, Holy One of Israel, whose name alone is Yahweh, by saying hallelujah.
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 I wanted to make a comment on 14. And probably 21 and possibly 23.
Hallelujah.
Offer to Elohim thanksgiving and pay your vows to the Most High. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I like to offer thanksgiving unto Yahweh. I like to thank Yahweh for sustaining me. I like to thank Yahweh for waking me up, because we know that Yahweh show mercy to whom he wants to show mercy to. And if it be his will, it will be done. So I praise Yahweh for the willing and the doing that he does for me, wake me up. So, I can't do nothing but when my eyes open in the morning say, hallelujah. And I thank Yahweh for giving me the strength, to get up and get well, every morning and just, providing me with food, clothes, shelter, and raiment. He's such a wonderful provider. He's just amazing. You know, it's amazing the things that we are able to do. And it's only because of Yahweh. And then just the little things, you know, and he gives us the desires of our heart. And we know he do because all we can sit at home and you say you want it, but you know, when you think about it and put it all into perspective, you know, I desire some ice cream. What Yahweh do? You go get that because you desired it. And if you can go get it, that means that you are deserving of it. So I thank Yahweh for, you know, giving me the desires of my heart, the little things, everything, the big things, the small things, and everything that I think that is not a huge thing. You know, it's the little things that make things so big to me that Yahweh shows me. So I must pay my vows and give Yahweh his thanksgiving. I do that every day. I do that in the confines of my home. And when I sit upon my bed, I do that. But it's a time that we have to pay and give Yahweh his thanksgiving, give Yahweh his due, his honor, his glory. And that is on his Sabbath day because he says, come before me with thanksgiving and praise.
Hallelujah.
So when do we come before Yahweh?
On the Sabbath day.
On the Sabbath day is the day that we come before Yahweh. We are before Yahweh every day.
Yeah.
But when we read these words and when I look at this, I say, well, I do this every day. So, you know, what day do I, you know, what day do I actually come before him? Because he says, come before me. And then this is his day. So this is the day that we show him his glory. So I praise Yahweh, you know, for being Yahweh. And then it says, pay your vows to the Most High. You know, I vow to keep the Sabbath.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. I vow when I come into the Shabbat day to get on my knees.
Hallelujah.
Because you know, it's a time when we kneel. You know, so I vow to do these things. So when do I pay these vows? So when I come before Yahweh, I must pay up what I vow to do. You know, and although I vow on the Sabbath day to keep my words few, keep my mind on him, don't speak my own words. You know, I might break those vows because sometimes we are unaware of, you know what, we so joyful. Let me say this: we so delightful, and we just want to just give y'all everything. You know, we want it. We try, you know, to get it all out, you know, at once. But I praise Yahweh for what he leaves on record for us to do. Like you said, basic instructions. This is so basic. Yeah. And this is how basic it is. I'm going to go to 23. He says, whoever offers praise, glorify me.
Hallelujah.
So, you know, there you go. That's a glorification right there. Hallelujah. I praise you, Yahweh. And then he tells you, and to him who orders his conduct aright. He already tells us how to conduct ourselves in and out of his presence. And then when we do all of that, I will show you the salvation of Elohim. That's why I said we do everything that we do. We doing it for the hereafter. We doing everything. We trying. And I pray that in the morning, you know, as I go out the door, you know, for Yahweh to watch over all his saints, all his servants, all his people, and all those who's trying to do his laws to the best of our ability, to watch over us, to show us favor, to recognize that. Like I think my sister says, I can't remember at one time, remember me. You know, remember me, Yahweh. Remember the things that I'm trying to do in righteousness. Because he already tells us, then you go back to Ezekiel, he'll tell you in 18 the things that you did, you know, when you return unto me, you know, that might not be mentioned. But we're not going to go all together unpunished. But those are the things that we look for, not to be brought up. The commandments that you broke, they was already there. But when I think about how many commandments that I broke, and maybe, we got the Day of Atonement, but you need more than the Day of Atonement.
Yes.
We got to constantly, like you said, beseech Yahweh. Beseech you, I beseech you, I beseech you. You got to beg, plead, state your case.
Yes.
So that's the main thing. State your case, state your wrongs, state your rights, state your good, state your bad. But just confess it and give it to Yah and glorify and magnify God when he show you, daughter, okay, I got you, I hear you, I thank you. Because he thanks us for thanking him. Mm-hmm. So I just praise Yah. Like I said, we can go on and on with the goodness and the glorification of Yah. So I thank Yahweh for everything that he needs for us to meditate on. And then I'll go back to 21. It's going to be my last one. He says, well, you got to go up further than that to see these things that we have done. And Yahweh kept silent. Because like we know that Yahweh ain't speaking to us. He ain't like, right. Hey, what you doing?
Exactly.
Don't do that. The clean fear of Yahweh will stop us on that track. So that's the thing that we need to hear. The clean fear, let me not step on that eggshell, or let me not vex this person, or let me be humble about this situation. So, he said, these things Yahweh have kept silent, and you thought I was altogether like you. We think, we know Yahweh is just one. He ain't all of us. Like we say that fictitious character he got. He 3 in 1. He could be this. He could be that. But Yahweh is just one. He don't wrap himself up and be what that we want him to be. He is the true and living Elohim, and that's what he is, and that's what he will be to us. So hallelujah. Hallelujah. And he will. He said, but I will rebuke you and set them in order before your eyes. So we got to set ourselves aright. Mm-hmm. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Praise Yah. The floor is still open for your comments and or testimonies, what have you. But just to continue on with this, with instructions. I actually looked it up. I'm like, man, it's something about these instructions. And so if you look in the concordance, you will come across H 4148, and which is Musar, and that one is derived out of H 3256, which is Yasar, which means the chastisement. It means a reproof or a restraint, figuratively with words, but literally with blows. So you got your behind whoop growing up, he say, I'm gonna put hands on you. So I mean, that ought to say something to some people. Because some people, you raise your kids how you raise your children. And some people, they just say, well, I just got to use my words. And my words is strong enough to stop them from doing that. And some people say, well, nah, I use my words, but I also use this leather belt too, to really drive the point home. But when you think about it, you usually learn the instructions. You usually gain the wisdom. You usually get the understanding when you didn't do what you was told, and then something happened that was dramatic. Like they said, don't go up on that roof. But you was hard-headed. You went up on the roof anyway, fell off the roof and broke your arm. And now you don't want to go up on the roof. Don't pick that up. That's hot. But you go ahead, you pick it up and you burn your hand. Oh, I understand now. That's hot. Don't touch it. So it's all about instructions. And see, our fathers, the children of Israel, those that came before us, those that walked with the Creator, that saw all those great acts, after seeing all that they seen, They still was against Yah. They still did not want to follow the instructions. And there's record left of it. Look, go with me over here to Zechariah chapter 1. 6 verses. Because, it's a warning unto us. Not to be like our fathers. He told them brothers and sisters that walked in the wilderness, they walked in the wilderness for 40 years. And why did they walk in the wilderness 40 years? Because they didn't want to follow instructions. They wanted to keep murmuring and complaining. When you just left hell, literally, you was getting dogged out, you was getting destroyed over there in Egypt. But then you come out and you seen all this great work and you still complaining. Talking about what you had in Egypt when you really ain't had nothing in Egypt. But look at this word that came to Zechariah. In the 8th month, in the 2nd year of Darius, came the word of Yahweh to Zechariah, the son of Bereshia, the son of Iddu, the prophet, saying, Yahweh have been sore displeased with your fathers. Therefore say thou unto them, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, turn ye unto me, saith Yahweh of hosts, and I will turn unto you, saith Yahweh of hosts. Be ye not as your fathers, unto whom the former prophets have cried, saying, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, turn ye from your evil way and from your evil doings. But they did not hear, nor hearken unto me, saith Yahweh. Today we still screaming this same message. Turn from your wicked ways. Turn from your evil doings. And today, if we honest with ourselves today, from the time I was growing up to today, it's even more wickedness today than it was when I was growing up. I can say I am of the last generation that grew up in the community where your neighbors will whoop your behind. I can say that. I'm of that last generation that experienced that, where the elders ran things in the neighborhood. These was not all the craziness, where on TV, women that had on their undergarments, that was considered pornography. Where today they can bear it all, and we okay with it. Back then when I was growing up, men that wanted to be like women, you really probably only seen that on TV with the brother Flip Wilson and Geraldine. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't allowed. You didn't see that. Even though it was around us, even though some people had it in their family, you didn't see it. There wasn't a great deal of that wickedness going on. But not like today. You see an abundance of evil going on in the land today. And our fathers, they did not hearken. They didn't want to turn from their evil ways. So now today, whoredom runs among us today. They say your fathers where are they? Where are your fathers at today? And the prophets. For they live. Do they live forever? No. We don't live forever. But my word and my statute, which I command my servants, the prophets, did they not take hold of your fathers? And they returned and said, like as Yahweh of hosts thought to do unto us, according to our ways and according to our doings, so have he dealt with us. Hallelujah. And that's where we at today. That's where we at. We're in the midst of wickedness. We're in the midst of a polluted land. We're in the midst where it does not matter how clean you try to eat, it's still polluted. That's where we at. And most of it is because we refuse to follow instructions. We refuse to follow the laws, the statutes, and judgment that was laid down before us. It's 25 verses in Proverbs. It's 25 verses in Proverbs, that highlight instruction. Go with me to, let's go. It say our fathers, they didn't want to listen to instructions. They didn't want to hearken unto instructions. So to all that you don't want to do instructions, this is for you. You don't like instructions, you hate instructions. As it said in Psalms 50 and 17, you hated the instructions. Go with me here to Proverbs chapter 5. And in Proverbs 5, I'm going to read verse 12. In verse 12, it says, and say, have I hated instructions? Say, how have I hated instructions? And my heart despised reproof. And have not obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor inclined my ear to them that instructed me. I was almost in all evil in the midst of the congregation and assembly. All because I didn't want to follow instructions. You don't want to follow instructions. You're destined for evil. You're destined for this evil. Look, at 5:23, it says, he shall die without instruction, and in the greatness of his folly, he shall go astray. Because he want to do his own thing. He want to follow after his own path. And he don't want instructions. So because he don't want instructions and he hate instructions, in his folly, he going to go away. He going to lose his life in his folly. Because he despised the instruction. He despised the reproof. And he's not listening. He's not even inclining his ear to hear the instructions. And he got people around him that's trying to instruct him. He said, I have not obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor inclined my ear to them that instructed me. Go with me over to Proverbs 13. In Proverbs 13, verse 1, it says, a wise man, a wise son, heareth his father's instructions, but a scorner heareth no rebuke. So even though when you're dealing with someone that don't want to hear the instructions, they're going to let you know. You're going to give them the instructions and they're going to rebuke you for it. And someone that you're trying to give them instructions, but they're going to take your instructions as you rebuking them. Because they want to do it the way they want to do it. They don't want to hear what you're trying to say. Even though they trying to learn how to cook. And you're like, hey, you got your fire up too high. Turn your fire down some, so you don't burn it up. They like, what? Man, I know what I'm doing. I got this. I watch them do this all the time. That's how they do it. And then they burn everything up. The grease get all black and smoking and everywhere. You're like, didn't I tell you to turn the fire down? They don't want to listen. Then go over here, and then it says, 13 and 18. It says, poverty and shame shall be to him that refuses instruction, but he that regardeth reproof shall be honored. So if you don't want to follow instructions, you don't want to hear the instructions, poverty and shame is waiting on you. They tell you, hey, young man, hey, young lady, you working a job now. So, when you get your paycheck, don't go spend all your money up. Take $100. Take 25%. Take 10%. Take half of your check and put it over here. Take 10% and do this. Take 10% and do that. Try to live on 30% of your total income. But you don't listen to that. This is my money. I work for this money. I made this money. When you get your check, don't you do what you want to do with your money? Well, I'm going to do what I want to do with my money. And then next week, they're like, can I borrow a couple of dollars? I need some help. I did and this happened, and I wasn't expecting this bill to come up, and that happened, and so now you shame face because you done talked all this mouth to somebody that was trying to give you some simple instructions, some simple guidelines on what you can do. Hey, when I get my money, I take like $50 and I put it over here and I don't even touch it. But you don't want to hear that. We tell you know what? Hey, when I get my money, it's this thing. It's called the stock market. I invest. I buy a piece of stock every payday. But you don't want to hear how you can get wealth and because you want to do what you want to do. And now you find yourself living on the street. Now you find yourself you can't pay your rent. You can't pay your car note. You can't go buy no groceries. Because why? You didn't want to listen to the instructions on how to save money. You didn't want to listen to the instructions on how to build wealth. So now you got poverty. And now you got shame. Because now them same people that was trying to give you that instruction, you got to go right back to them and ask for their help. And that ain't always easy to do. But hey, we want to do what we want to do. We don't want to take hold of the good instruction and good wisdom. But guess what? It's good wisdom in here. It's good instructions. Go with me over here to Proverbs 15. Proverbs 15 in verse 5, it says, a fool despises his father's instructions, but he that regardeth reproof is prudent. Only a fool despises their father's. A fool despises instructions anyway. Fools don't want to listen to no instructions. They don't want to follow it. And then look what it says in verse 32 in Proverbs 15. It says, he that refuseth instruction despises his own soul. But he that heareth reproof getteth understanding. It's something to that. We're trying to save your life by giving you basic instructions before leaving this earth. And the main thing we're trying to tell you is learn how to follow instructions. Learn how to listen to the instructions. It'll save your life one day. They got instructions everywhere. These traffic signals, these stop signs, every day you are being instructed on something. It says do not enter. It ain't just saying don't enter for no particular reason. It means don't enter. Oh, well, you're going to enter it anyway. Guess what? Now you know how to head-on collision. Now somebody done lost their life. Why? Because you don't want to listen to instructions. The light, it's a traffic light. It's red, green, and red, green, and yellow. The yellow light means slow down, prepare to stop. You know what many of us do when we see that yellow light. You know what we do. Foot on the gas, baby. You run through the yellow light, but guess what? It was another car doing the same thing, trying to make a turn, and y'all collide. Because then now one of y'all want to follow instructions. See, this following instruction thing is serious. It says the fear of Yahweh is the instruction of wisdom, and before honor is humility. The fear of Yah is the instruction of wisdom. And Yah laid down, and in this Proverbs, there is sound wisdom and sound instructions on how you should maybe consider some of these instructions. Listen to some of these instructions. Hear what it says. Let's go to Proverbs 1. Let me wrap this up really quick. In Proverbs 1, it says, this is all instructions. From 1 through 8, this is all instructions of wisdom. It says, the Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel, to know wisdom and instructions, to perceive the words of understanding. That's what the Proverbs is to do. The Proverbs is to help you to know wisdom, instructions, and to perceive the words of understanding. It says to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, and judgment and equity. It says to give stability to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion. This is what instructions going to do for you. When you follow instructions, instructions give you stability. It's a guide for you. It gets, man, you're a young man and you know how to follow instructions. Do you know everywhere you go, they're like, oh, that young man follow instructions. Get that young man right there. Why? Because you're going to tell him and he's going to do it exactly how you said do it. It says to give stability to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion. It says a wise man will hear and will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsel. So if you already a man of understanding, you already got some knowledge about yourself, they always looking for more knowledge. They get excited to get more words of wisdom, to get more understanding. And it tells you, a wise man will hear and he will increase in his learning. Man, that's something powerful. It says to understand a proverb and the interpretation, the words of the wise and their dark sayings. And the seventh, and in verse 7, the fear of Yahweh is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction, because fools can't understand the fear of Yah. They ain't trying to understand it. They don't want to hear it because they doing their own thing. But if you want to understand who the Creator is. Understand how Yahweh moves in this world and how he moves in your life. And listen to the instructions that are being given unto you. These instructions will save your life. One day, when you start learning how to drive a vehicle, learning how to drive a car, they give you instructions. This is a horn. You blow it. When something is going on, you blow it to let people know. This is a left signal. This is a right signal. You turn this signal left when you want to make a left turn so you can communicate with the other drivers. This is a sign language. See, these instructions are universal. We praise Yahweh from the rising of the sun to the going down of the same sun. These are instructions. So let's go to Proverbs chapter 4, because these are instructions. 4:1 says, hear ye children the instructions of a father, and attain to know understanding. Hear the instructions of your father. Hear the instructions of your mother. But they was here before you. It's their job to teach you. It's their job to make sure you don't make the same mistakes they made. They got wisdom and understanding on that. He said, for I give good doctrine, forsake not the law. For I was my father's son, tender and only beloved in the sight of my mother. He taught me also, and said unto me, let thy heart retain my words, keep my commandments, and live. These instructions, these commandments, these statutes, these judgments, they give us life. They enable us to live life to the fullness. Look, drop down to verse 13. It says, take fast hold of instructions. Let her not go. Keep her, for she is thy life. Instructions. And it's so many, and it's so much more within this proverb. It's 25 verses in Proverbs alone that highlight instructions, that let you know about instructions and how important it is to have instructions. In Proverbs 8, it's going to tell you about don't worry about accepting the silver and the gold. Get the instructions. Because if you understand the instructions, guess what? You can make the silver and the gold. If they digging up all these minerals and they using the minerals, they digging them up and using them. That's knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. One thing that they did to our people was get rid of the elders. Why? Why get rid of the elders? Why? Just like today, everything is focused on the children today. The attack is on the children today. And why they get rid of the elders? Because the elders carry the instructions. The elders have lived a long life. They know what's right, what's wrong. They know what works and what don't work. They time tested and approved. So wipe out the elders. That's what the crack epidemic did. It wiped out the elders. Get rid of the elders. Put the children up. Now we got babies that don't even live to see 15. We got more kids dying. We have more children dying today than we have elders. It's supposed to be, you're supposed to be able to grow old with your children, see your grandbabies, and then go to your rest. But here today, we got elders laying down children on a regular basis. Almost every week, it's 4 or 5 funerals a week with some child done died. Young lady just lost her life this week. Standing at the bus stop, shot in the chest, 15 years, 18 years old. Sad. Sad. And for what? All because people don't want to follow instructions. All because you want to do what you want to do. And now because you want to do what you want to do and live how you want to live, other lives are in danger. Because we don't want to do what's required of us no more. But Yah's telling us, return back to him. Come back and get the instructions on how to live life in abundance. How to live life to the full. It's all in here. It's all in this book. And then once you begin to live this life and you begin to understand this life and you have gained wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, teach it to your children. Teach this life to them that they can understand and know what a good life is look like. Because the righteous is not forsaken. The righteous goes through ups and downs. We fall, we get hurt, but we're not forsaken in our folly because we don't want to hear instructions. So return back unto Yah, get the instructions, and live life righteously. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. And take time and go seek what these instructions are. Because this is just Proverbs, but instructions throughout this whole book on how you should live life and what you should do. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. At this time, I kind of went over our time, a whole lot of our time. It's almost 4 o'clock right now. So what we want to do is that we can get a, tell you what, when we go take us a break, when we come back off of the break, let's open up with some songs. You know, do a few songs, and then we bring the Moray up. Hallelujah. We praise the Most High. Y'all. Let us stand and let us take a break. Hallelujah. Oh, but is there any more? Anyone has anything else they wish to add or share? It's our manual. Yes, ma'am. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Praise Yah. That's right. This Bible, this book that we call the Bible, the Holy Bible, like I said before, it is basic instructions before leaving this earth. This is our manual. This is a good book. This is a good book. Learn this book because there's nothing but knowledge, wisdom, and understanding in this book. From the front to the back, you get good knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Hallelujah. Praise the Most High Yah. At this time, let us stand, face the east, that we may go on a break. Hallelujah. Thank you, Yahweh, for this time. Thank you, Yahweh, for this day. I thank you, Yahweh, for being with me, being with my mouth. Anything that has been said incorrect, please lay it at my feet. Anything that has moved you, inspired you, please give that praise unto the Most High Yah. Hallelujah. Thank you, Yahweh, for watching over us. And Yahweh, as we begin to take us a small intermission, a small little break, just to regather ourselves to refresh ourselves, to get us a little something to bite on. Let us be mindful that this is the Sabbath day. Let us not begin to speak into our own words and do our own thing. Let us stay grounded and stay humbly and stay giving Yahweh the praise as we take a little break. And we give you all the praise and all the glory. And we say, Hallelujah. 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 Praise the mighty Yahweh. Yah is righteous all the time, both day and night. Hallelujah. The time right now, it is 3:55. We will reconvene at 4:45. 4:45, we will restart class. Hallelujah.